Hey everybody, Erick Landon here again, and I think I'm gonna make a series about these videos. When I was making the list, the following 10 games, I was thinking there are a lot of JRPGs that are forgotten nowadays. Nobody remembers them except when you come up and talk about them. For example, you're just there thinking about RPGs and then all of a sudden one of your friends mentions, "Hey, do you remember this game?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, you're right, yeah, I remember that game, it was good." But unfortunately, some of the following games are not that good, so maybe they have a good reason to have been forgotten. Who knows? That it's totally up to you. You be the judge. And today I'm going to present to you those 10 games that I chose. And like I said, maybe I'm going to make a series of these, a part 2 or part 3 someday, because there are just a lot of JRPGs that have been forgotten. So, let's begin. Number 10, Legend of Legaia. So let's start with a game that is not that forgotten, thankfully, and that a lot of people seem to remember. 10 years ago, everyone was still talking about this turn-based RPG, but nowadays it feels like nobody ever does. It was developed by a very unknown company known as Procyon, with the production support of Contrail, which was a subsidiary of Sony. They also produced Wild Arms 2 and Alundra 2. This game is still considered to be a classic, an underrated one actually, but when it comes to comparing it with other legends such as Xenogears or Valkyrie Profile, it fades away. It's like people remember this game, but don't give a damn about it. Well, I hope this video serves to make them remember and give a damn, because it's a very good JRPG with classic gameplay, good graphics, original story, and great battle system. Number 9, Illusion of Gaia. Here is another game that a lot of people remember, but a whole bunch don't, unless someone miraculously talks about it. It's an action JRPG published by Enix and developed by Quintet. These are the same people that made the ActRaiser series. It seems like this company makes a lot of underrated hidden gems. Interesting. And just a little extra information for you, in Europe and Japan, this game is called Illusion of Time, which is supposedly the real name, whatever. In any case, this is another game that was overshadowed by many others such as Secret of Mana or Chrono Trigger. And it's a wonderful game that may not be as good as some others, but still decent enough to be remembered as a classic. Number 8, Legend of Mana. This masterpiece is easily one of the greatest action JRPGs for the PS1, and a lot of people seem to have forgotten all about it. Sure, we are familiar with the Mana series, folks talk about Secret of Mana all the time, and they destroyed with criticism Children, Heroes and Sword of Mana. But Legend of Mana for the PS1, man, what a great game it is. A total classic. This was published and developed by Squaresoft back in 1999, and it's the 4th title in the Mana series that fortunately made it out of Japan. So I'm glad I got to play it so many years ago and enjoy it thoroughly. This game has one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Beautiful graphics, great gameplay, and cool battle system. So if you remember The Legend of Mana thanks to this video, don't you dare to ever forget about it again. Got it? Number 7 goes to Infinite Undiscovery. Yeah, it may surprise you to know that a game that is not even 10 years old is in this list. But it's just that so many people missed it, and therefore it was quickly forgotten. Now, for those who remember it, they probably agree with me when I say that Infinite Undiscovery is a great action JRPG that needs more love and more recognition. And guess what? It was developed by Tri-Ace, the amazing company that made Valkyrie Profile, Star Ocean and all of those series, and published by Square Enix. So with those two big names on it, how come a lot of people ignore this game? It's freaking awesome! If you haven't played it, go and give it a chance. It may not be as fantastic as many others, but it's still great nonetheless, and it definitely doesn't deserve to be forgotten. It needs to be remembered from now on. Really, it's a great game. Number 6, we have Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits. Yeah, sure, we all know the Arc the Lad series, but only the PS1 collection, which includes 3 titles. The first 2 are pretty good, the third, well, but the fourth, hate me for saying this, but I think Twilight of the Spirits is one of the best. It's the best. It has an amazing story, an awesome battle system that is actually very addicting, and a very cool soundtrack. However, not too many people liked it, and because of some changes in the battle system and gameplay that differentiated from the previous titles, I think those changes were great, but whatever, to each their own. And maybe that's why so many people overlook this game. In fact, they overlook this game so much that it's been one of the cheapest JRPGs ever since many years ago. It's not even $10, so come on, you have no reason to ignore this game. Do yourself a favor and play it, and remember it for the rest of your life. Number 5 goes to Terranigma, another game by Quintet, another underrated action JRPG, and another hidden gem, Forgotten. In fact, from now on, all that remains on the list are technically hidden gems. Unfortunately, including previous titles from this list, some of these games have mixed reviews. Terranigma, even though considered a classic by many gamers, is one of them. In my opinion, it's a pretty decent game, but not as good as other awesome, also underrated JRPGs. Nevertheless, it's something you definitely don't want to miss because it's a classic that you need to play, that you need to remember, to at least say, I played it, I know it, I remember it. In other words, you be the judge in deciding whether it's a bad game or a good game. Number 4, Arc Rise Fantasia. To tell you the truth, I can't believe what they did to this game. Because if it is a forgotten JRPG, then it's the publisher's fault for not being able to do good marketing. I mean, the game wasn't even released in Europe. Then they ruined it with its terrible voice acting in English, hence it was quickly forgotten. Developed by Imagipoc and distributed by Ignition Entertainment, Arc Rise Fantasia could have been one of the greatest JRPGs for the Wii, but it was torn apart by the circumstances that I mentioned, including the fact that it was also overshadowed by the Operation Rainfall monsters that include The Last Story and Xenoblade Chronicles. But anyway, it's an excellent JRPG. Metal Saga? Remember when I mentioned the mixed reviews thing? Well, Metal Saga is the perfect example of that. As a matter of fact, some people consider this to be one of the worst JRPGs for the PS2. Me, I found it to be playable. Not good, not bad, just okay. Developed by Success and published by Atlus, Metal Saga is a turn-based JRPG with sort of like an open world system that lets you explore as a hunter of scrap metal. It belongs to a series of games called Metal Max. All of those games, just like Metal Saga, are turn-based non-linear open-world post-apocalyptic vehicle combat JRPGs. You know, the title of this video is Top 10 Forgotten JRPGs, not Top 10 Forgotten JRPGs that should be remembered. And even though I've been saying that last part for almost every single title on this list, Metal Saga could be an exception. It's not a bad game at all, but I think the idea of mixing so many things into one game was just poorly executed here. Number 2, Evolution Worlds. This game includes the original 2 titles for the Dreamcast as a whole game. They cut short the first one, I don't even know why, and they put the full version of the second one on it. Developed by Sting and published by Ubisoft, Evolution Worlds is a decent game. Not that good, but not that bad as well. Whether it's fair for it to be forgotten or not, it's totally up to you, because, you know, I enjoy this game, and even though I remember it nowadays, I couldn't care less if I suddenly forgot about it. It's just a decent adventure with a turn-based battle system that I think people should play just to formulate an opinion of their own. So if you want to give it a chance, then do so, because like I said, it's not really a game, it's not really a bad game, but I'm just not sure if it should be remembered. So is it okay for this game to be forgotten? Maybe, maybe not, you be the judge. Number 1, Shining Tears. Of the Shining series comes Shining Tears, another action JRPG by Saga, developed by Nextech and Amusement Vision. If you don't know who these developers are, I invite you to search for them because you will be very surprised. Anyway, this particular game is the most forgotten JRPG of all because nearly nobody knows it. If you search for the developers and try to make a connection, then you'll be double surprised. Turns out they made some amazing mainstream games for many companies that were a huge success. So why is it that Shining Tears failed miserably at marketing? It may be because the Shining series was already dying back when it first came out in 2004, at least outside Japan, but the truth is that this JRPG is pretty decent and definitely needs more recognition. If you have a chance to play it and you like it, then you're gonna have to remember it for the rest of your life because it's a great game. And this one concludes my list. Thank you guys for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends and all that jazz. See you next time.